Gunther unleashes chaos on Nick Aldis after Aldis ambushed him. There is signing a contract, and then there is signing a contract while secretly planning to throw hands the second the pen hits the table. Nick Aldis chose violence, folks, and within seconds he found out exactly why that was one of the worst decisions of his entire career. Welcome back to Wrestling Rush News, where we turn backstage chaos into front row seats. If you enjoy watching power moves collide with pure audacity, go ahead and subscribe and tap that notification bell right now, because this story is moving fast and you do not want to miss a single beat. Let us rewind and set the scene, because the tension between Gunther and Nick Aldis has been simmering for weeks, and honestly, it was only a matter of time before it boiled over into something explosive. This entire rivalry kicked off when Gunther confronted WWE Chief Content Officer Triple H, accusing Aldis of interfering with his career and specifically messing with his plans heading into SummerSlam. Think of Gunther like a heavyweight boxer who suddenly discovers his opponent has been sneaking sand into his gloves. He does not want excuses, he wants answers, and he wants them immediately. When Triple H pushed back and pointed out that Gunther might have pushed things too far, Aldis stormed the stage himself, ready to defend his name, and that is when things got physical for the very first time. That initial brawl between the two men set the tone for everything that followed. Officials had to separate them before it spiraled completely out of control, and Triple H, clearly done playing referee, made the decision that would define the next chapter of this feud. He announced that Gunther and Nick Aldis would settle their differences inside the ring at SummerSlam, live from Minneapolis. For Aldis, this was not just some business decision, this was personal, because it would mark his first match inside a WWE ring in nearly 3 years. Imagine sitting on the sidelines for that long, watching everyone else compete, and then suddenly being handed the chance to step back into the fire against arguably the most dangerous competitor on the entire roster. That is not just pressure, that is a full-blown storm. Now fast forward to the contract signing itself, and this is where the real fireworks happened. Raw General Manager Adam Pearce presided over the segment, laying down the rules before either man could put pen to paper. Since Aldis technically could not compete as an active WWE superstar while still serving as SmackDown General Manager, Pearce made it clear that signing the contract meant immediately relinquishing his authority. Picture that for a second. Aldis was essentially trading in his entire office, his desk, his power over the blue brand, all for one shot at redemption in the ring. And without even blinking, he signed on the dotted line. That is the kind of gamble that either turns you into a legend or turns you into a cautionary tale, and Aldis clearly decided he would rather go down swinging than sit behind a desk wondering what could have been. Once the ink dried, Gunther wasted zero time flexing his dominance verbally before things escalated physically. He mocked Aldis directly, claiming the former NWA World Heavyweight Champion had never come close to reaching the level of success Gunther has built inside WWE. He brought up his list of career-defining victories over legends like Goldberg, AJ Styles, and John Cena, essentially reminding Aldis that he has made a habit out of ending careers, not building them. If wrestling promos were sports highlight reels, this one belonged on repeat. Aldis, never one to back down from a challenge, fired right back, insisting Gunther had underestimated him from the very beginning and warning that after SummerSlam, Gunther would simply be known as the guy who got beaten by his own boss. And that is exactly when the tension snapped. What started as a heated verbal exchange turned into a full-blown physical confrontation, and in a shocking twist, it was actually Aldis who threw the first real shot, ambushing Gunther the moment the trash talk hit its peak. For a split second, it looked like Aldis might actually catch the ring general off guard. But if there is one thing we have learned about Gunther, it is that catching him off guard and actually finishing the job are two very different things. Gunther responded with brutal efficiency, delivering a low blow before scooping Aldis up and driving him straight through the contract signing table with a thunderous powerbomb. The entire segment ended in splinters, both literally and figuratively, as Aldis lay motionless in the wreckage while Gunther stood tall, completely unbothered, like he had simply been mildly inconvenienced during his lunch break. Here is the insight worth chewing on, because this moment tells us everything about how this SummerSlam showdown is going to play out. Gunther does not just win fights, he sends messages, and the message here was loud and clear. Underestimating him, even for a split second, comes with severe consequences. Meanwhile, Aldis proved that despite 3 years away from in-ring competition, his fire has not dimmed one bit. So as we count down towards SummerSlam in Minneapolis, one thing is absolutely certain. This is not just a match anymore, this is a reckoning. Gunther wants to add another name to his growing list of career-defining victories, while Aldis wants to prove that stepping away from the ring for 3 years does not mean stepping away from a fight. Buckle up, because based on what we just witnessed, this rivalry is only getting started, and SummerSlam might just deliver one of the most personal collisions of the entire year. That wraps up today's breakdown here at Wrestling Rush News. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.